At 80, your body doesn't slowly fade. It secretly rebuilds itself, rewiring senses, muscles, skin, sleep, and even how reality feels. These 5 hidden biological transformations decide whether old age becomes quiet survival or a final, dangerous unraveling few are prepared for. Welcome to Wellness Unfolds, where we explore the profound biological mysteries that define our journey through the stages of human life. Today, we investigate the age of 80, a pivotal moment when the human body undergoes 5 specific and radical structural changes. These are not merely signs of aging, but are complete systemic reconstructions that alter how we perceive and interact with reality. Understanding these biological shifts allows us to prepare better strategies for health, longevity, and maintaining dignity in our later years. While youth is defined by rapid growth and expansion, the 80th year marks a transition into preservation and careful energy management. We begin our analysis with the first major change, which profoundly affects the simple daily joy of eating and tasting food. As we reach this advanced age, the body loses a significant majority of its taste buds, dulling our sensory landscape dramatically. This reduction in sensory receptors leads to a condition where food becomes bland, stripping away the motivation to maintain proper nutrition. Consequently, many seniors unknowingly consume dangerous amounts of salt and sugar just to experience the flavors they once enjoyed effortlessly. This decline is not limited to taste alone, as the sense of smell also diminishes, further disconnecting us from our meals. When the aroma of food fades, the brain fails to trigger digestive enzymes, making the entire process of eating feel mechanical. This biological shift often leads to malnutrition, not from a lack of food, but from a lack of desire to eat. Medical professionals emphasize that understanding this sensory loss is crucial for caregivers to prepare meals that are both healthy and appealing. Using aromatic herbs and spices instead of salt can help stimulate the remaining senses and improve the appetite of elderly individuals. Social interaction during meals also plays a vital role, as good company can distract from the diminished sensory experience of eating. We now move to the second major structural change, which occurs in the body's largest organ, our protective barrier, the skin. At 80, the skin loses its ability to regenerate efficiently, as the cells responsible for repair become exhausted and critically slow. What was once a minor scratch in our youth can now transform into a chronic wound that takes months to heal. The immune response within the skin layers is delayed, significantly increasing the risk of infection from even the most trivial injuries. This loss of structural integrity means that maintaining skin hydration becomes a medical necessity, rather than just a cosmetic beauty routine. The protective layer of fat beneath the skin also dissolves, leaving the body more vulnerable to cold temperatures and physical trauma. Without this natural insulation, the elderly struggle to regulate body temperature, making thermal comfort a constant challenge in their daily lives. Chronic wounds can severely impact mobility and quality of life, requiring constant vigilance and professional medical attention to prevent complications. Protection from the sun becomes critical, as the thin skin has almost no defense left against ultraviolet radiation and burning. Hydration must be approached from both the inside and outside to support the skin's failing barrier and prevent painful cracking. The third profound change disrupts the silent rhythm that has governed our existence since birth, our internal biological clock. By the age of 80, the circadian rhythms that synchronize our sleep and wake cycles often become fragmented and severely desynchronized. This disruption causes frequent awakenings during the night, preventing the body from reaching the deep sleep stages needed for restoration. Conversely, the urge to sleep strikes at inappropriate times during the day, creating a cycle of fatigue that is hard to break. Deep sleep is when the brain cleanses itself of metabolic waste, and losing this function accelerates cognitive decline and mental fog. The production of melatonin, the hormone that signals darkness and sleep, drops significantly, leaving the body confused about when to rest. Exposure to artificial light at night further confuses this fragile system, making it even harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. Establishing a strict routine with exposure to natural morning light is one of the most effective ways to realign the clock. Relaxation techniques before bed can help signal the body that it is time to wind down, despite the hormonal imbalances. Creating an optimal sleep environment is essential, as the elderly are more sensitive to noise, temperature, and discomfort than younger people. The fourth change is perhaps the most physically visible, a phenomenon known medically as sarcopenia, or the poverty of the flesh. At this stage, the body breaks down muscle protein faster than it can synthesize it, leading to a net loss of mass. This is not just about looking thinner. It is a functional decline that makes simple movements like standing up incredibly difficult. The loss of core and leg strength directly affects balance, making falls the leading cause of injury and disability in seniors. Sarcopenia also weakens the support system for our bones, increasing the load on joints and exacerbating conditions like arthritis and pain. Combating this requires a significant increase in dietary protein, which provides the essential building blocks needed to maintain muscle tissue. Resistance training is the only proven signal that tells the body to keep muscle, making it a non-negotiable part of aging. Maintaining independence is the ultimate goal, and preserving muscle mass is the key to living without relying on others for help. The difference between a frail 80-year-old and an active one often comes down to the amount of muscle mass they have retained. Finally, we explore the fifth and most fascinating change, the rewiring of the brain to adapt to the loss of white matter. White matter acts as the highway for information, and as it diminishes, the brain must find new ways to transmit signals. To compensate, the brain spontaneously creates neural shortcuts, sacrificing processing speed to ensure that vital information still reaches its destination. This is why reaction times slow down. The signal literally has to travel a longer, more complex route to generate a response. Remarkably, this rewiring prioritizes emotional centers, meaning that while facts may fade, feelings and emotional memories remain vivid and accessible. This shift allows the elderly to focus more on positive relationships and emotional depth, filtering out negative or irrelevant information. Scientific scans reveal that the aging brain uses both hemispheres more equally to solve problems, a phenomenon known as compensatory scaffolding. We often call this wisdom, but biologically, it is the brain's brilliant adaptation to continue functioning despite physical deterioration. Continuing to challenge the brain with puzzles, social interaction, and new learning can strengthen these new pathways and delay decline. Now that we understand these 5 structural changes, we must discuss the practical strategies required to navigate this life stage. The first step is vigilant monitoring. Keeping a record of symptoms helps doctors distinguish between normal aging and treatable illness. Deep medical screenings are essential, as early detection of issues like sarcopenia or sleep apnea can dramatically change the outcome. Nutritional adjustments must be aggressive, prioritizing protein and hydration while reducing empty calories that provide no structural benefit. Physical activity should never stop. It must simply adapt to be safe, consistent, and focused on maintaining balance and strength. Finally, emotional health is paramount. Staying connected with loved ones keeps the brain's rewiring process focused on positivity and joy. Let us now revisit the loss of taste and smell, exploring the specific biological mechanisms that cause this sensory deprivation. The olfactory bulb in the brain, responsible for processing smells, shrinks with age, reducing our ability to identify complex odors. This is a safety hazard, as the inability to smell smoke or gas leaks puts independent seniors at significant risk. Installing reliable detectors for smoke and gas is a mandatory precaution for any home where an elderly person lives alone. When taste fades, texture becomes the new flavor. Varying the crunch and softness of food can keep eating interesting. Liquid nutrition like smoothies can be an effective way to ensure vitamin intake when the effort of chewing becomes exhausting. Revisiting the skin, we must address senile purpura, those purple bruises that appear on the arms from the slightest touch. This happens because the connective tissue supporting the blood vessels weakens, causing them to burst under even mild pressure or friction. Wearing long sleeves offers a physical barrier that can prevent many of these skin tears and bruises in daily life. Swelling in the legs stretches the already thin skin, creating tension blisters that are painful and very difficult to heal. Elevating the legs regularly helps fluid drain back to the heart, relieving pressure on the delicate skin of the lower limbs. Regarding sleep, total darkness is crucial because even small amounts of light can suppress the remaining melatonin the body produces. Managing fluid intake in the evening is a practical strategy to reduce the need for nighttime bathroom visits that disrupt sleep. Short power naps can be refreshing, but long naps during the day steal the sleep pressure needed for a full night's rest. Reliance on sleeping pills should be a last resort. as they often increase the risk of falls and confusion at night. In terms of sarcopenia, the legs are the most critical area to focus on, as they are the engines of mobility. Simple exercises like standing up from a chair repeatedly can significantly strengthen the quadriceps without the need for a gym. Consuming protein immediately after movement helps the aging body utilize amino acids more efficiently to repair and build tissue. Muscle acts as armor. Strong muscles can absorb the shock of a fall, often preventing bones from breaking upon impact. For the brain, novelty is the best medicine. Learning a completely new skill forces the brain to build new infrastructure. Music is particularly powerful as it engages mathematical, emotional, and memory centers of the brain simultaneously. Chronic stress produces cortisol, which is toxic to the brain. Finding peace is not just pleasant, it is neuroprotective. Writing down memories helps organize the mind and strengthens the neural pathways associated with personal identity and history. These 5 changes are interconnected. Poor sleep affects the brain, muscle loss affects the skin, and nutrition affects everything. Aging is not a disease to be cured, but a natural process that requires adaptation, respect, and intelligent management. By understanding the biology of the 80-year-old body, we can replace fear with knowledge and frustration with compassion. It is possible to live with dignity and joy at this age, provided we listen to the body's changing needs. Every day is a victory of biology, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit against the passage of time. Embrace these changes not as failures, but as the unique characteristics of a life that has been fully and deeply lived. We hope this analysis has given you the tools to better understand yourself or the elderly loved ones in your life. Thank you for watching Wellness Unfolds. Please subscribe for more deep dives into the science of human health and longevity.